Coming up on Vegas Nation Game Day, it's the final game of the preseason. Will the Raiders finish with a perfect record in their return to the Bay Area? We'll tell you everything you need to know ahead of the Raiders matchup versus the 49ers. Fast takes and smart coverage coming up next on Vegas Nation Game Day.
Vegas Nation Game Day, presented by B&R House of Diamonds, making luxury affordable. Located in a One Summerlin building in downtown Summerlin.
Good morning, happy Saturday, and welcome to Vegas Nation Game Day. Cassie Soto here with you. It's a Sunday afternoon matchup for the Raiders this week. The Silver and Black taking on the 49ers at 1 p.m. tomorrow. Let's go ahead and jump into our opening drive, which is sponsored by Capriotti's. There's no better time than game time to score party favorites. Order online to get Capriotti's party trays, box lunches, or large subs for the whole crew.
Right now we're looking for who's that guy that's going to take charge. You know, obviously Nick Kwiatkowski is a good player for us, and we feel good about him, but who's that next guy? And, you know, that's what we're looking at now, and you're seeing a lot of mixing and matching. So we're trying to get these guys where you can create more depth, especially at a position like that.
That was Raiders defensive coordinator Gus Bradley talking about the depth this team is trying to create when it comes to the linebacker position now that some key guys are banged up. Raiders beat writer Vinny Bonsignor joins me now. Vinny, how much mixing and matching needs to be done before you think the Raiders are comfortable with how this linebacker room looks?
Well, probably more than they actually want to be doing, but out of necessity they have to. And keep in mind, this is where it gets a little tricky. Nick Kwiatkowski has missed the last 2 weeks of practice. He's not expected to be back until next week, they're hoping anyway. So if he can't go, then Denzel Perryman, who they traded for this week from the Carolina Panthers, if he passes his physical, that will become official. Then maybe he has to be the starter. Right now, Nick Kwiatkowski would be the guy to replace Nicholas Morrow, who's out for an extended period of time. Javin White is also hurt. So there's a lot of mixing and matching going on to try to create some depth, but also find some starters.
Vinny, we have seen guys like Nate Hobbs, Trey Ragas, and BJ Emmons really make a name for themselves this preseason. With the 53-man roster cut coming up next week, who do you think needs to have a standout performance on Sunday to make the cut?
I think Amik Robertson, although he's creating some confidence, the second-year cornerback from Louisiana Tech is creating some confidence with the coaching staff, but I think he needs to have a big game. Isaiah Johnson needs to, I think, have a pretty big game. That's a crowded cornerback room. He hasn't been able to play because of an injury, so he's got a tight window to create some assurance for himself to make this roster.
Thanks so much, Vinny. Let's go ahead and toss things over now to Heidi Fang.
Fast Takes, brought to you by Pirate Plumbing, the masters of disasters. Hey everybody, it's Heidi Fang here, and I'm joined with our Review Journal sports columnist, Ed Graney. We're going to get you caught up to speed with all you need to know about the 49ers against the Raiders, particularly the 49ers. So Ed, I've got to start with the quarterback situation here. Throughout training camp, we've seen a battle between Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance. Who do you think the Raiders might see out there on the field come Sunday?
This week, I don't know, Heidi, but I'll tell you what, I think Jimmy Garoppolo is the starter over Trey Lance when they begin the season in Detroit. If you saw Garoppolo this week smiling as much as he did answering questions, I got a feeling he knows he's the starter. This is John Lynch, the Hall of Fame player, now GM of the Niners, earlier this week to KNBR. You know it well up in the Bay Area. If we're in a situation it's difficult to prepare for by playing them both, Lynch said, we haven't shown a lot in the preseason as well in terms of things we can do with Trey and Jimmy, but that's not only us, that's league-wide. Heidi, what that tells me is they might be having some packages, much like the Saints have with Taysom Hill, now that Jameis Winston has been named the starter. So while I think Garoppolo will be the starter to begin the season, I think we're going to see the rookie Trey Lance a lot during the year. And probably if I had to choose one for this weekend against the Raiders, I'd say Trey Lance. You probably don't want your starter Jimmy Garoppolo playing much, if at all, on Sunday.
One of the other trays I think the 49ers might be hot on, Ed, that we may see in game action against the Raiders is Trey Sermon. I want to get your take on what you think he brings to the game and how the Raiders might prepare for someone like him.
Well, I don't know if he's going to play, Heidi. He missed the second exhibition game with a sprained ankle. He was hurt most of the offseason. This is the third-round pick out of Ohio State. He's a big physical kid, 6'0", 250, so he's put well together. But he doesn't have kind of the straight line speed that Kyle Shanahan's offenses usually have. So if he plays this week, it'll be a good test for whoever plays defensively for the Raiders. Once again, we don't know how many first stringers we're going to see out there for the Las Vegas team. But Trey Sermon's a big kid. I assume when the season starts, he and Raheem Mostert will share the duties. And I won't be surprised 6, 7, 8 games into the year, Trey Sermon is the main guy. Look, no matter who plays against Detroit, whether it be Garoppolo, Lance, Sermon, whoever. Yourself, Cassie Soto, Adam Hill, myself, and Sam Gordon to beat the Lions.
Oh, great stuff as always, Ed. Thank you for all the insight. And now we're going to turn it over to Sam Gordon with By the Numbers.
Thanks, Heidi. In week 1, we covered the offense, and in week 2, we covered the defense, leaving only the special teams as the preseason comes to a close this Sunday in San Francisco. Now, the Raiders were one of the most efficient teams in the kicking game last year, thanks to a spectacular season from Daniel Carlson. The 26-year-old set a franchise record for points in a single season in 2020, scoring 144 to break the previous record held by Raiders legend Sebastian Janikowski. Carlson converted 33 of 35 field goals for a conversion rate of 94.3%, a career best for the Auburn alum. That mark also ranked 6th last year among the 32 NFL kickers, a sizable improvement from 2019 when the Raiders ranked 29th in field goal conversion percentage. Carlson was also steady on kickoffs, forcing touchbacks 64.2% of the time. That mark ranked 13th last year, putting the Raiders in the top half of the NFL. Now, Las Vegas wasn't quite as successful returning kicks, generating 19 yards per return to rank 30th, but punt returns were significantly better as the Raiders averaged 11.5 yards per return to rank 5th in the NFL. And that's a credit to slot receiver Hunter Renfrow, who recorded all 23 of the Raiders' punt returns, showing some of that same wiggle in special teams that he does on offense. We'll check again with more stats before the regular season opener against the Baltimore Ravens, but until then, I'm Sam Gordon, and that's the story by the numbers.
DNR House of Diamonds is Las Vegas's elite private office jeweler, the perfect bridge between internet pricing and a traditional brick-and-mortar jewelry store. We specialize in loose diamonds, natural and lab-grown, engagement rings, fashion jewelry, custom design, and jewelry repairs. We operate by appointment in our beautiful offices in the One Summerlin building, downtown Summerlin. Our great relationships with the world's largest diamond wholesalers and our low overhead saves you hundreds, if not thousands, on your purchase.
Listen to the Vegas Nation podcast 3 times a week for all your Raiders news, interviews, and game recaps during the season. Best of all, they're free and can be found wherever you find your podcasts. Vinny Bonsignor and Sam Gordon host First and 10 on Mondays. Takeaways features Heidi Fang on Wednesdays. And Fridays, you have Ed Graney and Adam Hill's unsportsmanlike conduct. Check it all out today on VegasNation.com.
Vegas Nation Injury Brief, sponsored by Not the Injury Law.
With your injury brief, I'm Adam Hill. A lot of injuries for the Raiders, not necessarily sure who would be playing or who wouldn't if this was a regular season game, but not many guys would be playing anyway, even if they were fully healthy in this preseason affair. We'll start with Jalen Richard, the veteran running back for the Raiders, maybe in a little bit of a battle for his job at the back end of the running back depth chart. He's not going to play anytime soon. We saw him rolling around the facility on his scooter with his left foot in a boot, so I don't think he's going to be anywhere near the field anytime soon. A couple of names to watch. Nick Kwiatkowski has been not really training a whole lot with the team. He's injured. He is on the field working out a little bit with the trainers, though, so he's probably close to making a comeback. Keyshawn Nixon as well. He's been out for a little bit. We're not exactly sure where he stands, but Cleve Ferrell has been out since those joint practices with the Rams. He's working with trainers as well. Not exactly sure where he got hurt or what he got hurt, but he was mixed up at the bottom of the pile in that fight with the Rams. So maybe something happened there, but he does look like he's close to coming back. Besides that, we saw Javen White, the former UNLV defensive back turned linebacker for the Raiders. He appeared to be very injured last week in the preseason game. A lot of emotions were on the sideline. But it sounds like he's not as bad as teammate Nick Morrow, fellow linebacker. John Gruden provided little clarity on that, but did say Morrow's going to be out longer than Javen White. Maybe good news that Javen White's season is not over.
Vegas Nation Fan Zone, sponsored by your Southern Nevada Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Earlier this month, the USAA and the Raiders teamed up to host a Salute to Service NFL boot camp at Allegiant Stadium. The event allowed local military to train like Raiders players for a day. Here's Kevin Cannon with more.
Welcome back to the Vegas Nation Fan Zone. Today we're covering some very special fans. Our nation's heroes are here on the field at Allegiant Stadium, training with the Silver and Black. They're going to train me too. Here we go.
Air Force on me, Air Force on 3. 1, 2, 3.
So there's 10 different teams doing 4 different drills. And Kevin, I saw you out doing some drills too. I tell you, you know, you're not in the shape that you used to be, but I give you an A for effort for even being able to get out here and compete with these young men and women. So you're awesome.
I'm here with Jay Schrader, a Raider from 1988 to 92. You know, I didn't think we were supposed to wear shoulder pads. Oh wait, those are your shoulders.
Well, yeah, they're my repaired shoulders. That's what they are. But it's great to be here and great to be out with this group.
What was your favorite part of today? Was that scoring that last-minute touchdown?
You know, I just threw a bomb. Made a nice catch in the end zone, so we get to walk off with a win. So I think everybody out here gets a win today. We just scored. We won last play.
That'll do it for Vegas Nation Game Day, but don't go too far. We will be back tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. to bring you the latest news ahead of the Raiders and 49ers 1 p.m. kickoff. For our entire Vegas Nation crew, I'm Cassie Soto. Thank you so much for watching.
Vegas Nation Game Day, presented by DNR House of Diamonds, making luxury affordable. Located in the One Summerlin building in downtown Summerlin.